I want you to introduce everybody here in your awesome voice, please.
Okay, and I'll really... Is everybody in here excited right now? Are you excited for Logic? This is my first Comic-Con too, so I'm super excited to see you guys. First and foremost, we have Logic, the creator of the incredible true story and transformation of the man who saved the world. I feel like everybody's graduating. We have voice actor Steve Blum. Voice actor Kevin Randolph on Logic's left. We have executive producer Six. We have Logic's personal engineer Bobby Campbell all the way here. And the creator of the most incredible artwork on the planet, Sam Spratt. And one more time, since I am the DJ, I have to get everybody here to do this. Make some noise for this amazing
Awesome. Oh, darn. They're like, don't curse. I'm like, all right. Yeah, so Sam made that. All right, I have no idea what I'm doing. And when we first reached out to Comic-Con through my manager, Chris, to do this, I honestly, I just didn't think they were going to let me do it. Because I rap, you know what I mean? And first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody for showing up, because deep down I'm just the biggest nerd in the world, and like I really appreciate you. So make some noise for yourselves. So we have an hour, and I have a million things that I want to discuss and talk about. So I'm kind of going to be, I guess, playing the role of the person who's initiating the conversation and also doing the conversation at the same time. So I think what I want to start with first and foremost is we're going to get this trailer ready, if that's good. And I want to play this for you guys, for those of you out there who might not have seen it. And I'm going to give you a bit of a description on what this album is about. Oh, you can pause it. On what this album is about. The Incredible True Story is an album that takes place in 2115. And it is... The full script is called The Incredible True Story and Transformation of the Man Who Saved the World. And after meeting Steve Blum for the first time and shaking his hand, after he got me a script of Toys in the Attic from Cowboy Bebop signed by the whole cast, I played him 3 songs off an album at the time that didn't even really exist. And I told him this whole concept that I had, which I'll tell you in a moment, and asked him if he wanted to do it. And he said he did, and we shook hands, and I wrote the script that night in one setting. So it takes place in 2115. In 2065, the last human footprint was left on Earth before ascending to a space station called Babel, where there's only 5 million human beings left in existence. For the last 50 years, from 2065 to 2115, we have been endlessly searching for a habitable planet that can sustain us. It's kind of like, rap Interstellar, you know what I'm saying? No, but it is entirely different. And many inspirations I found along the way when creating this album. But some of the biggest ones were Akira, Cowboy Bebop, obviously. So many different things from my childhood that might not necessarily be considered cool in hip-hop, if you will. So anyway, it's about these 2 gentlemen, Thomas, who is a space pilot, and Kai, who is a man of infantry. And it's these 2 gentlemen on their way to this planet that we believe is in fact habitable, called Paradise. And it's going to be the first time that any human being has ever been there. And so on their way, they happen to be playing an album. And they happen to be playing my album, The Incredible True Story, which is awesome. I mean, it's awesome. It's kind of awesome. Anyway, yeah. So, is there anybody in here that has heard my first album? Yeah. So awesome. Yes. Epic. So if you have heard my first album, you'll know that there was an homage to Tribe Called Quest. A computerized character by the name of Thalia that was giving you facts on how my album was created. Now this is what I love. When Thomas meets Kai at the space station before, starting their journey to Babel, Kai says, "Hey, what did you do on the way over here?" And Thomas says, "Oh, just listening to some oldies." And he says, oldies, like who? He says, like Logic. And he says, Logic, what the hell you know about Logic? And he says, I just got finished listening to his first album on the way over here. I was about to put in the second one. And what that means is, and as you hear this, you hear a female computerized voice counting down until the ship takes off. So what this means is that when you listen to my album Under Pressure for the first time, it wasn't you listening to it. It was Thomas listening to it on his way to pick up Kai while his Siri, or Thalia, artificial intelligence in the ship, was giving you facts on the album. So it all ties together. And essentially, that's what it is. It's two guys talking about women, talking about hip-hop, music, talking about never seeing a sky with their own eyes. Just kind of shooting what I can't say up here, I guess, on their way to this planet to save mankind. And the great thing about it is, and I'm going to shut up, I'm just so excited. The great thing about it is that the concept has nothing to do with the music, because the music was created 100 years ago. So if you're not like us, if you're not a nerd and you don't love sci-fi, cool, you can just enjoy the music. But if you do, you're going to really love it. So if we could show this trailer of what it is and ignore anything.
You have to push the button, Thomas.
Yeah, the button on the top right where it's always been since the beginning of time. Dumbass.
I heard that. Fight me, Kai.
Yes, please, a round of applause. Yes. So, the good thing is I have some treats for you. I have some unreleased footage of things that I'm gonna show you guys here today. And one thing that I do want to say is that this album is best described as an audio cinematic experience that takes place mostly in sonic form. And a big inspiration of it was, in fact, World of Worlds, from like way back when people were tuning in on their radios and legitimately thought we were being like attacked by aliens because it sounded so real. And that's thanks to Bobby Campbell's sound design. But anyway, I want to know what this was like for you, Mr. Steve, working on this. Please tell me what you think.
Dude, I'm still trying to figure out why you want to be on this album.
Okay.
I mean, honest to God, this is the biggest honor for me, and it takes my life in a whole different direction. When you first contacted me, I had no idea why. That was my first question, why? But once we sat and talked, and I saw your love for anime, saw your love for sci-fi, it wasn't even a question in my mind. Before you played the first song, I was going, oh, I like this dude. I didn't know your music at first.
Yeah.
I'm the a-hole who didn't know.
No, it's not good.
The one guy in the room.
No.
But I'm a lot older than he is, so I come from a different era. But dude sold me immediately. I mean, as awesome as all this is, he's a great person underneath it. So, dude, it's the journey has been amazing so far. I can't wait to see Paradise now.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. And Kev, please tell me what this was like. So Kev, I've known Kev for like 4 years, okay? And when I first signed to Def Jam, I was in No ID Studio, and this gentleman right here was one of the very first producers to actually sit down and work with me. And he's a phenomenal pianist, trained in classical music, all types of music. So we had worked together for a long time, and on this album as well. And I always told him, I remember telling my manager, Chris, too, like, I'm gonna put his voice on my album one day. And the funny thing is that the character is very shaped around how he is. So what was this like, kind of working on your character?
This was an honor. I mean, first of all, I'm usually the guy that's always behind the scenes. I'm never the guy that's usually in the front. And to actually get the opportunity to work with, Steve, Logic, Six, Bobby, everybody, it was crazy because we all have known each other through music, whatever. But then to come together and actually do something cinematic where we're actually together, it's crazy. It's amazing. So I feel like it's a big honor.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Kev, for being a part of it. and Six. So make some noise for Six, everybody. He produced. Awesome. So me and Six pretty much produced damn near the whole album, you know, ourselves. And he's been my in-house guy. We worked together for years since my start, since, you know, the beginning. And yeah, tell them a little bit about the sonics of this album, what they can expect to hear from us, maybe growth, maybe a little bit of something they know, or whatever.
I think the way we worked was, you know, it was still us, but just as we're getting older and growing as musicians, we're just naturally getting better. So I think from the first album, the sonics are just way bigger, way more draining. Still had the live instruments, but I think my role was taking Logic's crazy brain and kind of trying to make sonics to fit, you know, the script he had in his brain. So yeah, it was really fun. It was a challenge, you know, to try to make different stuff than the norm. And yeah, it's an honor once again to be part of the project.
Amazing. Well, awesome. Thank you so much. And then also, so outside of just the music, I had to ask myself, I had to figure out, how can I create, like, think about this. I mean, I want you to imagine something, okay? I want you to imagine that you are a hip-hop artist, right? And you are supposed to be perceived a certain way, whether that's the women and the chains and the money, or validation of selling drugs or being around drugs or crazy things that I have experienced, but might not look like it because it looks like I will probably deliver your paper, which is fine. But my point is, so I want you to imagine that, and then imagine me going to my manager, okay, who is my best friend, who is the creator of Visionary Music Group. Make some noise for him, by the way. His name is Chris. So I want you to imagine that I'm coming to you, you're the manager, and I'm like, yo, I want to make a whole album about anime and space. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you have to ask yourself, like, how in the hell am I supposed to market this to a demographic that essentially doesn't really give a damn about that? And you know, the funny part is we came to a decision that this isn't about a certain demographic, a certain who we think is or isn't going to listen to something. This is about me, and it's about me being happy, and it's about me sharing this vision with all the other people who, like all you who are here, who are going to enjoy this and love this. You know what I mean? Whether if you don't know who the hell I am and you're here for Steve, awesome. Like, that's why I want you to be here right now. You know what I mean? So what I had to do is I had to create a sound that was essentially just completely split in half, where the music has nothing to do with the concept, and the concept has nothing to do with the music, and yet they're still entirely intertwined, which is something that it was not as difficult as you think. You know, it was hard in certain parts, but I asked myself, like, for example, on other albums like very conceptual, where there might be a lot of skits on them, in between them, this, that. And as music lovers, who doesn't love music? You gotta be like the devil. You know what I mean? So it's like, but if we're, especially in this digital era, we want to listen to a song, we want it to replay, you know? We don't want to sit through 5 minutes of a talking skit when we just want our song. So I had to find ways to be able to splice it and make it perfect, and, you know, and that comes down to Bobby Campbell. Make some noise, please, for Bobby. My God, Bobby. I also want to add that Bobby was literally up until like 7 a.m. doing the final mix before we send this album to get mastered on Monday, and then flew all the way from LA just to be here. Once again, make some noise for him. So Bobby, what was it like working on this? How was this different from other, not only hip-hop, but just musical albums, and the concept and the sound design and some of our inspiration?
First off, it's a lot different than most albums I work on, because you're giving me a lot more creative control. Most people I work with, you know, everything's kind of set there, and I just do the technical things I need to do to make it sound good and present it to the fans and the people. But you know, this is much more in depth. You know, to sit with you and listen to. You know, we watched a lot of, you know, like Interstellar and a lot of movies and ideas to kind of get all the concepts rolling. But it was a cool experience to, like you said, to make it more of a cinematic experience when you put on, either, you know, if you listen in your car or you put on a set of headphones, like you'll hear that Thomas and Kai are like, you know, they'll be perfectly panned left and right, almost as you're, you know, if you were traveling with them in the spaceship. So as they're conversating, you're kind of hearing them to the left and right as you're sitting there. And then beyond that, like the ship ambience and all the sound effects that we went through. We really dug in to get some good inspiration for that, and seeing how we could stem it into the album and make it a full feature.
100%. And I mean, we really dug. I mean, we went from, listening to what Christopher Nolan did with the sound on Interstellar to Alien, taking it back to like the old school vibe of how that feels, to Destiny, video games, like another love of mine, Star Wars, like all these things, and figuring out like how Star Wars.
I like that show.
Yes, anyway, just flex on me like that, bro, okay. Yes, so, but yeah, actually, like I love this. I love music, I love art, I love film, and I wanted to bring them all together. I wanted to make them something that was very special. And I can say nobody has ever done this before. People have done concept albums, people have done albums about space, people have done albums that were like movies, people this, but nobody has ever done this, ever. And that is something that I am beyond excited to share with you guys. But next, I'd like to bring up the art, Harrison, and I would like Sam Spratt, who is one of the greatest living artists in my opinion. I would like him to tell you guys essentially how the artwork came about. So Sam, if you will.
Sure. So I worked with Logic on Impression. We did the scene from the basement, and that was a very explicit scene. He told me exactly what his memory was, and we worked really closely together, exactly how you wanted it. The deluxe, you just kind of let me go at it however I wanted. And then immediately once we finished, you said, I want you to do the art on my next album before I even knew what it was. And his initial pitch, if you go to the next slide, was basically, I want this scene inspired by Life Aquatic from Wes Anderson.
What the hell is Kanye and Wes Anderson and Interstellar all doing together?
You've got space, and you've got the trifold nature, the kind of like caring very deeply about packaging and design of Kanye West, which was the craziest pitch I've ever thrown for any client.
And not to cut you off, I mean, first of all, you're probably like, what do these three things have to do together? So when I was thinking about actually creating this image, I was like super into Wes Anderson. I mean, I still am. And that image that you see with Mr. Bill Murray on the left is one of the final scenes from The Life Aquatic. And I thought, wow, like he has his whole squad just like, with him in this amazing shot. And I said, I want to do that. I want to do it better, personally. You know what I mean? Not to sound a certain way, but like I want to do it how I would do it, Because to me, that's perfect. I can't top that. I can top it if I'm doing it my way. You know what I mean? From my mind. And so that's when I hit up Sam and I explained to him, like, yo, I want all my homies, I want all the people that helped me make this album, I want them there with me. Because a lot of rappers and entertainers, it's very much so all about them. Oh, it's them, and there they are, and it's this, and they're, voguing, or whatever the case may be, on the cameras all the time. But like for me, I'm nothing without these people, without my manager, without my fiance in the back, without Harrison running the slide, without these amazing people. Once again, just a round of applause for everybody else who made it. Yeah, I'm all right. So anyway, so with Kanye, I thought, who to me in this day and age is someone who will die for their art? I mean, truly, a musician who would be crucified, has been crucified for his art. And that was Kanye. And when I saw his trifold layout, that had been done a million times by a million other artists, I knew I wanted to do something as good as that, if not do my best to try to top it in quality, and the fact that, there are all the people in this room, sure, we buy stuff digitally, but if you took the time to come here, you're gonna buy whatever shows or movies he's done, to hold on to. You're gonna buy my albums to hold on to. And so I wanted to create this trifold that you can open up and actually see it and hold it in your hands. And that's what you see, and I just had to say that. I'm sorry, I'll stop being a microphone whore now.
You're good, man. This, what was really cool about being approached about this was that it wasn't like, Sam, I want you to paint this image in my head. It was, Sam, I've written this story, I have a universe, I have this world, and I need visuals behind it. And it's not just this album, it's beyond that. So I guess what we're going to show you next is kind of all the little things we did to build a brand and a world, ranging from fonts, to color palettes, to mock-ups of spaceships, from Babel to the Aquarius 3, what Logic suit would look like, the helmet, and not, this stuff isn't even in the album cover, but the album cover has to like exist in this world because we made it. And so, I mean, if you go to the next slide, we went down to everything from the architectural drawings of the interior of the ship to the flight badge. We designed what this, as if it were a NASA mission, what is the Aquarius journey.
And mind you, like what I'm wearing and like what Six is wearing. So Bobby's actually wearing a prototype that I bought from the Air Force, so a flight suit, and then I went to like the Science Center and got all these epic patches and just like put them on there myself, and then toured the world in like these like 3 prototype versions. And then I actually I collaborated with a brand called Control Sector to have these ones that I'm wearing now designed. So they literally went over to China and designed these to like fit me and my squad. And which is like really awesome. We got them all personalized. And Sam was awesome enough to actually create a patch. So I want you to know, you're just seeing this right here. Nobody knows this, only you guys know this, and that's why I'm releasing a lot of information today, just for you guys to like talk about. You'll be able to hold that in your hands. So just know that that will be available. I just wanted to let you guys know that. Alright, I'm shut.
All good, man. And so from there, we started, the whole album is about the journey to paradise for this new home for humanity. And he had a vision of what that looked like. He wanted vanilla skies, he wanted pink clouds, lush, alien destiny, No Man's Sky inspired kind of artwork. And so I'm not traditionally like a landscape artist or sci-fi, and I don't really do that, or portraits, but we decided to kind of create this concept piece, whether or not it makes it into the album, but it'll find a home because this story is bigger. This is just kind of like the beginning of it for you. And really, like, once we built this world together, then we just started sketching. And if you go to the next slide, I started kind of rough, trying to get likenesses, anatomy.
Guys, handsome.
The next one, pose. And it all starts there, the likenesses of, we got Kev, Steve, Bobby, Six, as well as Chase, Dylan, who am I missing?
There's like Big Lenny.
Well, Big
in
Lenny.
between, yeah. Does he look like a baby? Yeah, I like to rap. Okay, sorry, please. Oh, I mean, yeah, and then, on the side of Steve is another Steve in the back, and he's got like these dreads on. Actually, can we go to the next slide? Oh, that's the,
Right.
that's like the
Yeah,
light.
so we like started adding some lights and trying to build out kind of
Which is super awesome. Go to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So and then over is this gentleman named Chris from the Front Runners who does all my vocals and all my singing right there. The gentleman in the front with the really crazy look on his face. He's like super excited. That's what he's like all the time. And then behind him is a gentleman named Steve Wireman, who's just I think he's the king of rock and roll. He's one of the most incredible guitar players and musicians that I've ever met. And he did songs like Nikki on my first album. And I mean, he's played all over everything that I've done. And then to the very, very right, who looks like Action Smallson, is my tour manager, Momber, who's like super tight. And I just thought I had to put him on here. And I think my favorite thing about this entire image, can you go back one? Is that Sam Spratt is poking out right there. And that's what I love. I was like, can you talk about that when I asked you? Because he's not a vain guy. He was like, I don't know. And I was like, no, you're gonna draw yourself.
Yeah, self-portrait is literally the bane of my existence. Like I could not hate anything more than drawing myself. But to have this little like Easter egg that most people miss unless they look really close, to be included in the team was a lot of fun. And if you go a couple later, you can see kind of the preview of some of the Easter eggs. We got the Rubik's Cube in there, of course.
You turn up.
And this is so you got this panoramic packaging, and you flip it over, and this is the other side. If you go one more, briefly, I'll try to make it as concise as possible. Basically, the philosophy behind the album was you got the movie still, this is the cinematic experience, you flip it over, boom, title screen. That's Star Wars, the 8th film by Quentin Tarantino, that kind of thing. Logic presents the incredible true story. And then on that, you've got Babel and on the far left, and you've got the Aquarius 3 traveling on the far right. And then the disc is more space with the Planet Paradise, because you're about to embark on that journey. And then you play, and you experience it all. So it's just there to complement everything you are.
Well, thank you, Sam. Did everybody? Amazing. So I know we are going to get to the Q&A, but I would love to show you some things that have never been seen or heard before. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, amazing. So I actually have a video clip that I want to show you guys. They're like almost like real messages being sent back home, you know? So we have Thomas, who's, and another thing is, so Kai, his name is William Kai, and Kai I named after my Kai MPC 2000, which is a beat machine. And that's like my kind of creative side. And then you have Thomas, who was named after Doubting Thomas from the Bible. And whether you're religious or not, it doesn't matter. It's just what that character represents, that we all have self-doubt, not only as artists, musicians, but human beings from time to time. That is okay. And his first name is Quentin. So Quentin Thomas, Tarantino. You already know what it is. William just sounds super swag. So I don't know. So yeah, that's why I gave him that name. Anyway, so these two guys, they kind of represent both sides of my, I guess, subconscious. Anyway, so along the way, there are skits on this album. You have not heard any skits from the album. You will not hear any skits from the album until the album comes out. But I do have these scenes that I'm going to be releasing over the next few weeks that nobody has seen yet. And they're shorts and they're simple, and they're for the ADHD crowd who can only like take like 2 seconds of something at a time. And this first one is Thomas sending a letter home to his family, and this is pretty much to show you kind of how these characters are going to interact. So whenever you're ready.
Mary, baby. Another week on the Aquarius with Kai. He's all right. He's fine, but damn, I miss you and the boys. I hope you can get back to me and let me know what's happening on Babel. I feel pretty disconnected right now. This guy's wearing me out. I love Kai and all, but
Hey man, hurry the fuck up, man. I gotta call my bitches.
This is like, you can expect a lot of that, like on this album, like in a very good way. And that's another thing that I wanted to do, like you have the very serious, give me a serious voice, just give me one of those like.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there you go, exactly. So you have this very like serious character who's at times playful, and then you need to kind of even that out, the yin and the yang. And I mean, even deep down artistically, like this plays on my race being black and white, you know what I mean? I mean, everything, even Paradise, like there was a time where I felt I wasn't accepted in hip hop. So I thought, screw it, I'm gonna go create my own world. And whoever wants to come is more than welcome. So anyway, then we have the awesome side of the characteristics. So when I wrote this guy, I literally wrote this guy, like he's like the same dude, like he's hilarious, you know what I'm saying? And so this next video is him sending a letter home to his love, if you will.
What's up, Keisha? First of all, I just want to say, I can't wait to see you wax that ass all fucking night. And I'm on wax. Okay, hold on, wait a minute. Calm down. Can't wait to see you. I miss you very much. You're the only one for me, baby. That's it, baby. You're the only one for me. Monica.
Okay, this so glad you're laughing. Like, thank you. Okay. This next one, some of you may have seen. As you may know, I absolutely love the Rubik's Cube, and this is another thing that might not necessarily be accepted by the cool hip hop kids, but I said screw them. So I wanted to do a fun skit about this. This skit is actually a remake of a skit on the album, but this is the video form of that, so it's funny.
Hey, what's that? Man, this is Rubik's Cube shit. Rubik's Cube. Man, I get so much pussy with this, it's incredible. I mean, bitches love the Rubik's Cube. Bitches love the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, very simple.
Bitches love the Rubik's Cube.
Yo, nobody make that. I have to make that first, and then okay, so one thing that I want to do right now, which is ridiculously super duper awesome, and I'm beyond excited, is so honestly, legit, make some noise if you're gonna get this album. Make some noise if you're not gonna illegally download it. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm super nervous to let you guys see this, and I, for the first time in my career, directed my music video for a song called Young Jesus. Starring me and Big Lenny. Where's Lenny at? Where is Lenny? Lenny, you have to walk all the way up here right now. Wherever you are, you have to walk up. This guy right here is my best friend. I've known him for 6 years. When I was homeless, he let me sleep on his couch. A year later, I signed a Def Jam. We moved to LA and followed our dreams. Awesome, yes. The God. Yo, say what's up. Okay, so we are going to get to the questions as soon as this finishes. I'm going to debut this. The reason I chose to begin directing videos is because even though I've worked with amazing directors in the past, I felt that nobody could get my vision out like me. Chris in Def Jam took a risk in letting me direct a huge budget video that could have went wrong, and it didn't, so suck it. And this video wouldn't exist without Nick Mahar over there. Wave, Nick Mahar. Wave. He's amazing. So, he's the real genius. He just let me put directed by Logic. I didn't do it. That's not true. I definitely directed it. Anyway, thank you, Nick, for this. Let's run this world premiere. Whoa. You guys like it?
Yeah!
Okay, I could literally sit here and talk about so much stuff in such detail, but that's, I guess, what all the interviews are going to be for later when this album comes out. So, can we do any questions, any fan questions? I don't know how that works. How do we do? Do we select? Do we pick? Oh, you gotta line up? Better get in line, fool.
No, wait, too late now.
Okay,
it's too late now. See that one?
ask anybody whatever you want.
Alright, first of all,
Directed at Logic when I tweeted him.
my question is, when you were struggling to get by every day, what you did to persevere through every day, how you go by?
Wow, that is a great question. A lot of people ask me, how is it that I'm so positive? Peace, love, positivity all the time. It is in my darkest hour. It is when I am being attacked or hated for what I represent that I am my most positive. So I persevered by telling myself, I'm gonna. So a lot of people say, I would follow my dream, but I don't have any money. I'd follow this, I do this, I do that. I said, I was gonna cover XXL, I covered it. I said, I was gonna have my own Comic-Con panel, and we are here! Woo! So I said it, and I did it.
So Logic,
What's up, baby?
we don't pay us
Swag.
my question is, who's your favorite artist?
Oh, say it with your chest, baby!
Who's your favorite artist to work with in this album?
My favorite artist?
Yeah.
Artist to work with?
Yeah.
You mean as in other rapper or feature?
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't, honestly, I will say the most fun, and I know this is probably gonna sound like BS, was Lenny, was my best friend Lenny. You know what I mean? Somebody that you're friends with that essentially nobody in music knows. Like, that's not a smart move to put some random person on your first single. It was the best thing ever. We recorded in hotels, tour buses, 6 producers on the road. It was amazing. So Lenny, make some noise for a good Lenny.
Well, first I'd like to thank you for being who you are. I like the fact that you still do what you do even though it's not considered cool.
Thank you.
And you know, how you consider yourself a nerd because of the things that you like. And,
Super nerd, yes.
and I know that's, like you said, you know, it's not very, I guess you could say it's frowned upon in the hip-hop community, the hip-hop culture, and you know, just overall in the hip-hop industry. And I feel like, I don't know, like who are, you know, kind of artists, because I feel like you have a different style, a different mentality when it comes to music. So who are artists that, you know, that you feel comfortable with, you know, making music with?
Amazing. Yeah, no, that's an incredible question. I think someone that I look up to that is I guess like a brother, like we're very much so at the same place, like musically, but I also respect so much is Donald Glover, so Childish Gambino. He's awesome. You gotta understand, like, he has a line that says, "Black guy in short shorts, that's double suspect." Like, that's amazing, you know what I mean? Like, he knows, like, people, like, you know, it doesn't matter, like, he's himself, and people could say, they say horrible things, like he's white, you know what I mean? Because of how he acts, or he's gay, or he's this, or he's that, and he stares them right in their face, and he goes, "Fuck you," sorry, Colin, but he does, and he stands up for himself. And that inspires me to hopefully do the same thing with you guys, to just be yourself in any event. So shout out to Donald Glover, because he's awesome.
Steve, loved your Megas XLR.
Thanks. Chicks still dig giant robots.
I love giant robots, that's why I'm here. My question's for Logic. Real quick, man. I was at the Under Pressure tour, the Webster, all of this, man. It makes sense why you came out in a jumpsuit now. I was real cool about that. I got family in Silver Spring.
Yeah.
Like when you said West Deer Park, like I knew who that was. That was a big deal when I started listening to you. You're the best lyricist out there right now. And my question's kind of selfish because I heard tomorrow you're doing autographs and stuff.
Yes.
I'm out here tomorrow.
And you're here today.
Man, can I get a picture with you?
Hold on. Of course! Let's do it!
Most people are just worried about bitches and getting blunted, but you're still a real motherfucker.
Thank you. Let's do our best to make this super quick. We got a long line and I want to answer all your questions.
Alright.
We all want to answer your questions.
My name's Steven from the Bronx.
The Bronx, let's go!
I love Cowboy Bebop, big fan. Spike Spiegel, that's the character.
Thanks, man.
I just wanted to know right now if you could spit a Beretta freestyle on the anime of Cowboy Bebop.
Yo, check it, Cowboy Bebop's tight and we don't have time. I'm really sorry, but next line in line.
Hi, I'm Andrew from Florida.
I love your shirt. I have that shirt. I'm gonna steal your shirt.
Can you sign it?
Yes, I just.
Thank you, man.
To hold me
Okay,
to
no, I just want to say you made Music Club is Remember Again, and on top of that, I want to ask you, is this going to have a lot more songs on it compared to your Under Pressure? Because
there are 18 tracks on this album.
Hey Logic, how you doing?
What's that, Brad?
Yo, it's awesome to find out that you're a nerd, and I'm a big fan of your music. I'm also a big fan of Childish Gambino, and I can't believe you mentioned it before I asked my question, but this is my question.
I saw you freak out. You're like, oh my God!
I hope no one caught it on camera. Anyway, so like you guys had a song together, Driving Miss Daisy, and I just wanted to know, so did you take any inspiration? Did you talk to Donald about like your new album, since his latest album also is screenplay based, or did you take inspiration?
I did. There was inspiration with the script. So I had his vinyl, and I had never written a script before. So I just looked at his script. I was like, how do you write a script? So I literally looked at it, and I was like, oh, this person says this, and then this person says that, and then cue like aliens. I don't know. But like, so yeah, I just looked at it and kind of did that. And then after that, I did look up other scripts like from Tarantino and how things were written out. But there was no real inspiration from Donald himself, aside from being yourself. So,
yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, how's it going? My name's Jordan.
Hello there. Like Jordan, Michael Jordan.
That's actually my last name. Shout out to Sam because your artwork is actually what we listen to Logic. So that was cool.
Amazing.
So my question is kind of a dual question for Steve and Logic. So Steve, you have like 1 billion credits. So what was different about doing this project? And Logic, how is it working with someone that worked on something?
A god? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
It's always intimidating to work with a god. It was easy. It was fun. We just had fun. We just played. That's the difference. And I mentioned before how good a person he is. Those are the people. At this point in my career, sometimes I actually get to choose who I work with, and I just choose people that I vibe with, people that are living life the right way. Peace, love, and positivity was the first thing out of his mouth. So that just made it an easy transition right there. And then I heard what a monster talent he was after that, and that was just icing on the cake. So the whole process has been like hanging out with my brother. I mean, I call him my little brother all the time.
That's legit, like it's awesome. Like the first time we met, we had like a steak and cheese. Like it was awesome. But no, it's amazing working with him. You gotta understand, and I'm gonna make you feel probably like super old. But when I was like 11 years old, this was like my everything. You know what I mean? Like watching Cowboy Bebop as a child. You know what I mean? Like just a kid. And then, like, I had to ask myself, everybody knows, how did you get into hip hop? And I say Tarantino, Kill Bill. Because the RZA from Wu-Tang Clan scored the film. I discovered the RZA, Wu-Tang, I discovered Nas, Big, I discovered hip hop because of that. With this album, I said, what inspired me to be a creative? And at the end of the day, it was this man's voice. You know? So.
Hey.
Hello there.
My name's Alfredo. I'm from the South Bronx. Thank you.
Oh, from the South Bronx. South Bronx. South. Okay, sorry.
Oh wow.
What's up, bro?
Hey.
I'm sorry.
You got this, bro. It's happening. This is real.
I bought this just to come out.
You bought this to come? Oh man, I gotta sign it.
Yes, you do.
I was.
So I've been listening for your music for 4 years, and I remember just listening to you from SoundCloud and just downloading you on thatpit.com. And I remember standing outside of my friend's show, and I told him, "Watch, Logic is gonna blow up. I'm telling you." And it's so I can't believe it. You made it.
You can't believe it, dude. It's I can't believe it,
bro. My question is, when you're writing your music and you put, as Marty Randolph would say, your music, your positivity.
Your music is incredible, Logic. You're so amazing. Sign your soul with us, please. Yes.
So how do you what is the realism of Logic? Like how do you write like a normal day when you write music? How does that come out?
So you're basically asking, how do I write?
Yeah.
Essentially. How does it flow? How does it flow out? My mouth hole. It just comes from life. You know, when I first started, I thought everything had to be like the craziest punchline. Like, you know what I mean? Like I thought that's what lyricism was. Like, I have a line on the album where I go, excuse me, this isn't too crazy, but my bitch bad got a 6-figure, play one show and get 6 figures, we build bigger, money tall as a mountain, bitch, I got hill figures. So it's just like a play on like fun little things like that. And I used to think that was it, like that like real like fabulous, fab kind of like just punchline. And then you have artists like J. Cole, you have artists like Kendrick, you have really amazing artists like Big Crit, I mean, it goes on and on. Most Def, where it doesn't even necessarily have to be about the punchline, you know what I mean? Because it could be like, yo, my dreadlocks on the floor. Like, I don't know, you just say like the craziest thing, but it means something to you. And there's a band, has anybody heard of Neutral Milk Hotel? So So Neutral Milk Hotel is like, hands down, yes, these guys get it. Neutral Milk Hotel is like the most obscure thing, like Jesus came in the night while 500 families perished, and you're like, what? You know what I mean? But the way he's saying it, like you feel it and it vibes. And I can say on this album, but especially on future work, that's where my head has been. I'm just letting the words come out. Chris Martin from Coldplay says, I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. I just write it, and then it lives on its own. Sorry for that super long answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, hello. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, go ahead. Grab that mic. Gangster.
So I was just wondering, I guess it was the huge fan of both anime and hip hop. Are you familiar with like John Bass's work on Samurai Champloo?
Oh, yes. 100%. Sam. Yes.
Is that like a major inspiration for the way that you're down production for this?
Wow. So he's asking if it was an inspiration for production. It wasn't. But in many ways, like Nujabes, you know, himself, before he perished, rest in peace, make some noise for that guy. Was always a huge inspiration. I mean, I remember being like 15 years old and watching Samurai Champloo and like hearing this awesome hip hop music over, you know, with Mugen's voice, you know what I mean? Like, which is amazing. So I would say, hands down, I was definitely inspired by that, but not for this particular album. I think my biggest inspiration was Akira, and Cowboy Bebop. As far as on the anime side, just because those are so sci-fi, futuristic, space, you know what I mean? So yeah, it wasn't, but it is a big inspiration line for sure. Thank you.
As a filmmaker, I'm coming into this very objective. This was an awesome project. To the graphic illustration, to the sound design, please. Absolutely love this project. This guy's also doing sci-fi right now. This question is for Steve Blum. I recently celebrated my girlfriend and mine's anniversary.
Let's go!
I would just like just one statement from you if possible. Bang. See you later, Space Cowboy.
Where is she?
Can you stand up, please? Don't be nervous.
I love how Bang. See you, Space Cowboy.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, brother?
First of all, I just want to say who put me on you first was actually one of my best friends named Quinn.
Quinn? Oh,
yeah, he loves you. And I really appreciate your artistry and your being and everything, and how you're an advocate for being yourself. Because I'm myself, I love all types of music, rock, bluegrass.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother.
Let's rap bluegrass for your head.
So, I love your music, and especially like you said, you're one of your favorite artists, like Donald Glover, because I appreciate right now rap sort of like in a new century. It's like, it's changing. You have
Second Renaissance.
It's like Donald Glover, you, Chance the Rap, Social Experiment.
For sure.
Kendrick with his new album, it's not just straight rap, it's sort of music in a whole kind of thing. And I like how certain songs like Nicki, I remember watching one of your interviews and you explained how it's not about a girl, it's about your cigarettes and about nicotine and things like that. And I love how you trans that to sort of like a poetry and love for
completely.
Things like that. So what sort of song would you say on your album? What's your favorite song that sort of imitates that? Sort of just
amazing. So I will tell you it. I mean, I haven't really talked about titles, but I will let you know. So there's a song on the album called City of Stars. And I'm not going to get into it too much just because I want you to really enjoy the sonics of it, so I'm not going to tell you all the fun stuff. But I will say it is essentially a breakup song with hip-hop. It is a breakup song with my old way of thinking that I had to be a certain way to fit in to do something. So I think you'll love it, especially. And it's just about screw that, do what you love. And the song is named after a book that was written by Neil deGrasse Tyson. So I'm in space. Thank you. Thank you. We got 5 minutes. Oh, swag. I was looking at the phone. You got it. 5 minutes. Okay, sorry.
Hi, my name is Joe,
And
Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe! Okay, that's horrible. Okay, continue.
I'm actually an up-and-coming rapper, and I didn't know that you were into anime and stuff like that until today. So, given that I'm also into anime and hip-hop and that we have similar interests, you know, that's really encouraging, you know, that you're given your success and all.
Thank you.
But I wanted to ask, what was it like first coming into rap with, like, given your interest and your style of rap, like, were you shunned immediately?
100%, totally. I was a person that was coming in that, first of all, looks white. I was raised in a black household. I'm told, oh, no, you're not black. You're this, or your daddy black? You're a black man. It's like, no, I am a mixed person. You know what I mean? Like, I am me, I embody who I am. A big thing was race. And it was something that people don't understand. You look white, but you're black, but you're not really black, but you just stop rapping. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or he looks a certain way, so he can't rap good. Or he's this or that, or like I would explain my story of where I come from and the things that I've seen and experienced, and they would look at me and go, oh no, he hasn't been through that. That's fake. Or mommy and daddy bought everything, but no, mommy and daddy were on drugs while I was working very hard, you know? So, yeah, thank you, Swag. You got like 4 minutes.
First, Steve, I have a question about all the great voice roles you've done over the years. I was curious, is there any inspirational process for trying to find a identity for a character, especially for like multiple characters in the same series, like Zalazar or Witchmar and Naruto, or your various Digimon?
Yeah, I go by what the character looks like first, and then I go by what my director tells me. And so, honestly, God, that's the truth. It's an organic process for me. I look at something and organically I just come up with the first thing that pops out. And most of the time that's what we go back to. Even if we go through 50,000 incarnations, we always seem to end up back at the organic place. And that's kind of how I live my life. And it seems like your creative process is like that too.
Swag.
Swag.
Hello there.
So I was watching you solve that Rubik's Cube in front of Big Sean yesterday.
Yes.
Are you going to have a feature with him on the next album?
Am I going to have a feature Big Sean?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it is so funny that you actually just asked me that.
Come on, tell them.
I will tell you this. I will say Big Sean is on my album.
All right.
And nobody knows that. And I am not going to tell you how or what or why or what shape or form that he's on the album. So I want you to enjoy it. But just know you can expect it.
One more request, please.
What?
One more request.
Okay.
My friend from LA, his name is Ernie, he put me on. Can you give a shout out to him, please?
Is that Ernie right there?
Nah.
Who's Ernie? Is that your homie?
That's my brother.
So wait, this guy's your brother.
That's my brother, but Ernie's in LA.
Ernie's in LA. You just said that and I look like an idiot in front of hundreds of people. What's up, Ernie? It's Logic here at Comic-Con. Make some noise! Okay, 2 more questions. Sorry, 2 more.
Hey, my name is Luigi.
Luigi?
Yeah.
Let's go, player 2. Turn up.
I'm always terrible.
Yeah.
I'm from Virginia, and I got like a random question to ask you.
Yes.
If you could do a collab with any anime character for an album, who would it be?
I already did it. Spike Spiegel. What's it called? I did it. One more?
My nephew's one of the Spanish guys who told me about you, and he says when he takes it, like he wants to challenge you to it. He wants to say things that he says he wants to eat.
Well, tell him he's going to get destroyed. He's on the phone. Bring it. Come. Real quick. They're like, we gotta go. Hold on. Hello? Hey, what's up, bro? Oh my God! What's your name? Junior. Swag. So you think you can destroy me in the Rubik's Cube? I will eat your soul. Anyway, you're awesome. Everybody make some noise for Junior.
Alright, so I got the last question. Sweet. Alright, so you mentioned your squad a lot.
Squad!
One person
Squad! Alright, sorry.
One person I don't really hear about is John Bellion.
Oh,
I'm a fan of both of you, John Bellion and Logic. So I just want to ask, is there a feature in the works?
This is what I'll say. So one thing that's so awesome is me and John Bellion are family. We are brothers. You would see John Bellion and Logic a lot in the beginning when John Bellion's first signed to Visionary. And that's because we have created a family. My fans are open enough to enjoy whatever I put my arm around. And if you don't like it, you'll respect it, but you'll go, oh yeah, I support that guy. You know, I'll give his music a listen or this or that, which is really amazing. The great thing is that the format that Chris has created at Visionary does not allow one artist to overshadow another one. Instead, we support each other like a family, so that once that person has been exposed to the public, they can then from there go on to do their own thing. So as John Bellion's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing, we're behind the scenes, we're brothers, we're very happy, and yes, you can expect a lot of music from me and him over the years to come. So make some noise for that question. And we have to go right now, but I just want to say one thing. I want to thank you so much for coming. I truly hope that you enjoy this album about space with Steve Blum, with Kevin, designed by Sam Spratt, produced by Six, and sound designed by Bobby Campbell. Make some noise, everyone!
New York.